Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Big Finish Fans. In today's Big Finish Fans, we're taking a look at the second instalment of Big Finish's 60th anniversary special, Once and Future. But this time, we're taking a look at the artist at the end of time. Once again, I am joined with Luke.
Yes, hello, Ben, and hello, Stephen.
Hello,
Stephen?
Stephen.
Where are you, Steve? We've done quite a few of the last.
Stevens.
He's been with us a few times now, so it feels
Yeah.
odd being back to just the two of us, doesn't it?
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll be back soon.
Yeah, we do have more plans with Stephen, and I almost called him Stevens there.
Stevens.
Thrown off by boss.
Bruce's.
Yeah, we've really been enjoying ourselves looking at Genesis of the Daleks, the Green Death. Who knows what could be next there?
It's been nice just to go back to the Mother Show, really.
Yeah, we've done so much Big Finish chatting, and here we are doing more Big Finish chatting.
Yeah.
We love it, and we've got to justify our purchases.
Yeah.
In a way. But yeah, it is nice to return to Doctor Who's roots in a way, really, isn't it? And because even though we have done the box season collection box sets and such, there's something a bit different about just picking one story and running with it and really getting to explore that story a bit more. I think it was fascinating getting to chat with Stephen about the politics of the Green Death. Really, I mean, that's a very strong theme there within the story. Yeah, if you haven't checked it out, please do give it a watch.
And Genesis, because something weird's going on with Genesis.
Yeah, we've lost even more views.
No idea.
YouTube does not like Genesis getting above 600 for whatever reason. It's just like whenever it gets close, it suddenly gets knocked back down again.
Yeah. So share it, do everything you can, because they're really good. I mean, you might think that's like, what? How long was that? 7 hours or 6 hours?
6 hours and 40 minutes, so closer to 7 than 6.
Yeah.
And
but if you've got some household jobs to do, stick it on, because I've done it and it's just a great little listen. And Green Death was as well, check them all out. They're great.
That one came in a bit shorter as well, so we're getting slightly better at getting to the point, I suppose.
Well, it's not that. It's just you get so engrossed in just tangents, and it all goes back to what we were saying. It's lovely, and longer may it continue, because we both enjoy it, and hopefully you all enjoy it. Everyone seems to enjoy it.
Yeah, it's just fascinating listen to Stephen's insight into these stories.
Yeah, it's just getting different perspectives, isn't it, really?
Yeah, and hopefully you're all enjoying what me and Ben have to say about them as well.
Yeah.
Not just there for Steve. We understand he is a huge drawing factor, but hopefully we bring something to the table as well, however small.
Yeah. But yeah, it's good fun. It's good fun. We have a lot of fun doing it.
Daniel Hager, the Fifth Doctor fan. I love this story as Peter Davison is my doctor and my family doctor. Hi, Ben and Luke. How are you today? We are, well, good. I am pretty well, thank you. Don't want to speak for Ben there, but he's good as well. There we go.
I'm good. It's nice to be back again doing these.
Yeah, I mean, the temperature's shot up again this week, hasn't it? But I think it's meant to be cooling off over next week.
It's quite cool now. There's a nice breeze, so I'm enjoying it.
I've been going through the Fourth Doctor Adventures Angels and Demons set. I've finished Stone Cold now, so I've just got the Ghost of Margaret to go now. But I'm enjoying that so far, and that's certainly something we'll get around to talking about at a later date. But yeah, it's just listening to Big Finish at the moment with the headphones on can get a bit sweaty with just them wrapped around your ears. It's not always the nicest feeling when you take them off. It's a very pleasant thing to talk about, but it's just the realities of living in this heat at the moment. And I'm sure lots of non-British viewers are sitting there thinking, "Oh, bloody hell, it's Brits complaining about the heat again, bloody wimps."
See, us Brits are great at complaining. We've got it down to a fine art,
Yeah, we're going to be complaining about artists at the end of time in a minute, but.
Well, are we?
I don't know. We might not be, to be fair.
We'll see.
We'll save that for a little bit. But anyway, Sam/Mr. Bond Cactus says, "Evening. Think this is the earliest I've been in a while." Yes, this was. You were an hour before we were, Sam.
Due to technical faults, which you think because we do these pretty regularly, we've got it all sus, but no. There's always cybermats lurking, causing havoc for us.
Just likes to play up every single time, really, doesn't it? It's like nothing ever keeps the same settings for whatever reason.
It's just a lot of faff, but once it's done, it's fine.
I mean, what was your microphone was saying? It was connected to Zoom, wasn't it, or something?
Yeah, my microphone was saying it was Zoom. I didn't have the Zoom loaded, and then it just said the mic was just non-existent. It didn't recognize it, so it's like,
I mean, have you even been on Zoom since we last?
No.
We did the stream with Stephen on Friday on StreamYard, what we're doing using now. So Zoom has not even been used for the last couple of days.
Yeah, I've not used it. Yeah,
weird stuff.
Strange.
Hi, Trevor Hicks. Thank you for joining us.
Hello. Thank you.
Hello, Stylish Ron. Thank you for being here.
Hello, part of the furniture. Part of a team.
I saw your tweet, Stylish Ron, actually about starting Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, that's a personal favourite series of mine, so I hope you are enjoying that. Hooving with a small collection. Yo, how we doing? Ooh, new Ben background.
Yeah, I'm in, as the Brits call it, the living room. Well, I don't know why we call it living room, but yeah,
room for living.
The room for the living. But yeah, I guess it's more Big Finish fansy because there's loads of Big Finish and collections.
Some collections sneaked in as well.
Yeah, because that's what I've been watching. Because Green Death.
Have you put on any Doctor Who since Green Death?
No. I mean, it's only been like 2 days.
Right.
Yeah, because last night I got occupied doing a Luke and Mr. Bonkcactus. But yeah. So I wasn't exactly in the greatest of mindsets to talk about this story.
There was this old taff in the pub, you see.
And I was down to the Red Dragon, you see.
Yeah, I've been going through series 4 actually.
Which was David Tennant?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Started with Partners in Crime, gone on to a personal favourite of mine, Fires of Pompeii, and got the Planet of the Huge up next. I'll get around to it at some point.
Nice.
That bit after Fires of Pompeii matching the temperature today. Maybe Planet of the Ood will be like a nice little mental cool down exercise with all the snow and such.
I tell you what we should do. We've done the Big Finish version. We should do like a Doctor Who story for all occasions, but the TV version.
That's a thought.
We should do that. That's just come to me.
Yeah, we might as well. What? I can't even remember what occasions they were that we came up with now.
Yeah, there was like holiday lesson, bedtime lesson, something cozy. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you could do Doctor Who story for a walk when it's TV.
Well,
unless you're like holding your phone out in front of you.
Unless it's a missing episode and you've got the soundtrack.
Yeah, but then is that cheating? Because is that technically audio, not TV?
Well, I don't know.
Nice. So, have you decided what the next Big Finish throwback stream will be? Our stylish one. We kind of have. It's not quite your typical throwback, though, is it?
I genuinely can't remember what it is.
Oh, really?
Which
it's the one. It's the big one. The one that will include a lot of old Big Finish, but it's not necessarily we're gonna sit down and listen.
Yeah, I think you're gonna love it.
Yeah, hopefully so.
It'll be the biggest stream we've ever done.
Tier list wise, at least.
Tier list wise, I mean, I don't want to I was going to say I don't want to undermine anything. We've done with Stephen because that's pretty big for us.
Yeah, very true.
In the best possible way.
But in terms of like just sheer release volume that we are going to have to get through.
Yeah.
It is quite a lot. So there's your little hint there. And that should be the stream for around like the anniversary of Big Finish, or Sirens of Time at least.
Yeah.
July 19th. So might not be on the 19th, might be like the Friday.
It'll be it'll be close enough. Or Friday or Sunday. We haven't decided.
It all just comes down to what's going on at the time. I mean, it might end up being that day itself. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, we need to
stay tuned.
Need to sit down with Stephen and work out everything we're going to do next month, I suppose.
Yeah.
Lady Christina retrospective, says Hoover with a small collection. I mean, for that to be a retrospective, we'd have to buy it.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That is true.
Did they give any of it away with DWM at one point? I can't remember.
No, they put it on sale pre-Doctor magazine.
Stardish One says Lady Christina should replace Diary of a Song and run for many more box sets.
We'll cover that. We'll get to that.
Yeah, I suppose we have got Lady Christina coming up somewhere in Months of Future, haven't we? We don't know quite where yet, but she's in one of them at some point.
But yeah, it's something to look forward to.
I mean, Starship says, "Oh yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is great so far. I'm really enjoying it, along with Secret Invasion. It's reminded me why I like the MCU." Yeah, so I feel like there has been a bit of struggling. It's been like an effort to enjoy some MCU stuff recently. But yeah, I'm glad you are enjoying both days. Evening, lads, says Sam. Evening. Thank you for joining us.
Evening.
Is it Big Finish covers? Is it main range? That was a Stylish One and Hoover in a Small Collection. Do you think Big Finish will release something to celebrate 25 years of having a Doctor Who license? They did for the 15th and 20th celebration.
I think we would have known, to be honest, if they. I think Once and Future is the main priority at the minute.
I mean, 25th anniversary is next year, though.
Yeah, it's true, actually.
Yeah, July 2024, because it's 1999. So yeah, maybe something a bit smaller though.
But then it's 50 years of Tom as well, you know.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I would say I wonder if it'll be more of a Worlds of Doctor Who spin-off thing, but that's sort of what they did with what they're doing with Once and Future as well, and what they did with Legacy of Time anyway. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I suppose, is that the time for just your standard multi-Doctor story?
I mean, it's about time.
Yeah. Because, I mean, even with the end of the beginning, that wasn't quite your typical multi-Doctor story, because that was more in the style of, Sirens of Time.
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah, I feel like they'll do something. Maybe it'll be like a special couple of box sets, like they did. Maybe we'll finally get a Sixth Doctor and Perry Volume 2.
Yeah, and that's like, there we go.
Yeah, that style again.
I mean, to be honest, it could make sense why they haven't announced the bundle.
Oh yeah, maybe that'll be connected somehow.
Because normally by now we know what Big Finish are doing next year. We know that there's going to be at least something next year in terms of Doctor Who. But right now, we've just got the 2023 stuff.
Yeah, maybe they're saving that announcement for July 19th on the 24th anniversary. And then from there, it'll be like celebration of some sort spread across all the box sets in some way.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll finally get a novel adaptation somehow.
Yeah.
Because like they brought the Lost Stories back for the 20th.
Yeah, let's have to see.
Any thoughts on the missing episode rumors based on those Apple leaks? Did you see about
that? No, I didn't see that.
It was like through their connection with Britbox. They put up random episodes on there on Apple, whatever it is. I think the store. But it wasn't like full stories or anything. It was just randomly selected episodes, and they had full descriptions as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Galaxy 4 Episode 4.
Right.
The bit of Mythmakers. There might have been a Mythmakers. And there was a Smugglers as well.
Right. So it's quite a
Highland-
weird selection.
Yeah, there was about 9 of them, I think, total. Highlanders episode 2 or 3. Oh, here we go. Thank you.
All right. Okay.
Galaxy 4 episode 4. Yeah, got that right. Mythmakers 2 and 4.
Right.
Smugglers 2 and 4. There you go. Yeah, then Highlanders 2. Here we are. Thank you, Hoovian. And then it's Space Pirates. I think Ela 4, 5, and 6.
Jeez. No. If that's be gone.
It's
No.
the meme, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, they were all like put up on there. I imagine they've been taken down now. Yeah, I mean, most likely a behind the scenes error, like not something to pin your hopes on, but nevertheless, odd selection, it does make you think. Because obviously, when the Fear and Enemy of the World came back, that got popped up on iTunes first thing. So could they be preparing that? Because it's like got the full descriptions there as well. So
I mean, it just reminds me of Marco Polo being on the BBC Shop.
Wasn't that a hoax though?
Well, I remember having like a screenshot of seeing it.
Yeah, but that's fairly easily forged, isn't it? Edited. Because there was also that cover in the same style as the Enemy and Mud cover, wasn't there?
Yeah. And there was Macroterra apparently, but I never saw the Macroterra one.
But as those animators animating the smugglers must be getting annoyed. Yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll hear about them soon because animation news has been a bit quiet.
I just think the Doctor Who media's been a bit quiet.
Yeah, I mean, did you see Chris Chapman gave away a lot of his old DVDs recently?
Yeah.
But he says, he was getting ready the next 2 seasons worth of DVDs to get rid of as well, and they realised he can't just yet
because they're not
announced. So yeah, surely it can't be too far away now. They know what the next 2 are going to be. So,
do you think we'll get another 2 this year?
I'm not sure at this point. I hope so.
I would love I'd like another 2. Not to be greedy. But
yeah, surely they could still get one announced now out in August or September, and then one out November/December.
You'd want one out for like Christmas or the actual 60th, wouldn't you? Really?
Yeah, but especially season 20 would be ideal for that time. Get your 5 Doctors in a HD.
It's that story where I'm in the mood to watch it, but you just know it will be announced as soon as I watch it, and I'll be like, "Oh, damn."
But the fact it's 9 episodes, it's a small collection. The fact the Mirror said 9 episodes found a month back. That's true.
There's a lot going around because Philip Morris has been stirring the pot again.
Yeah, I think once the pot gets stirred, all sort of
things
like this comes out of the woodwork. But then again, Apple wouldn't necessarily know about that. They wouldn't necessarily be putting it out in that way. That's just a coincidence that's then been connected to it.
I know I sound quite negative, but I don't want to get my hopes up.
No, me neither. And it's likely that there is some stuff out there in private collectors' hands, but whether or not we will live to see that, it's another story.
We just might not see it because they might just end up in the bin.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because especially when
don't even know what to do with it.
Yeah, because thankfully, when the man who found or returned Underwater Menace was it 3 or 2? I mean, it was 2, wasn't it?
So,
And
yeah.
Galaxy for episode 3, when he passed away recently, some people were brought in to like search through all his collection and stuff to see if there was anything else of value in there, not just Doctor Who, but like anything that's missing and need to return. So yeah, we haven't heard anything more on that front yet, I believe.
Well, there's one in Australia who recorded everything from, I think, like the invasion or something daft like that, from like the Australian repeats. So there could be stuff in that, but there's so much to sift through. It could be a few years before we get to that point.
Yeah, that's true. It's a long process, isn't it? And often involves a lot of political loopholes to jump through and such that we aren't aware of.
Yeah, just for us to go, oh yeah, can we put it on our shelves? Thank you.
And then we enjoy it for a month, and then it's like, can we have some more, please?
Yeah. It's that sort of greediness of a Who fan. We're never quite satisfied. We're always looking for the next thing.
Yeah, it's like collection sets announced, collection set gets released. Can we have the next one now?
I mean, I would love to know sort of the actual schedule for these things, like just a year. So this is what you're going to get this year, and I'd be happy.
Or even just not necessarily the set, but just like to be announced. This set is coming in here, like what Big Finish do with their pre-orders. How we know we're getting a third Doctor Adventure set in October, but we don't necessarily know what the details of that are yet.
Yeah.
Sam says, yeah, missing episode stuff is weird these days. It is. And unfortunately, it's as more and more time passes, there's less and less hope for it, isn't there? Because these things degrade.
Yeah, they do. They could just be slime.
Oh, I found out about the schedule for physical media releases, sort of. Oh, do let us know.
Nice. Let us know.
But I suppose, should we dive into the artist at the end of time? Because this is rather fitting, actually, because it is sort of about things being preserved in a way and the value of such. Artwork. I mean, should we do quick spoiler-free talk first and then dive into spoilers like we did last time with Past Lives?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I mean, I think it was a step up from Past Lives.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a step in the right direction. What about you?
I agree with that. I think there's a nugget to hold on to with this. Where you're like, okay, there's some development in the story. It's still very much standalone.
Yeah, it's not really too much development, and it's not really nothing that you can actually grab onto in terms of speculation yet. Like, I think that's something that we, funnily enough, almost foolishly looking back, said about how, it's nice that they're releasing these one at a time because we'll get to discuss it with everyone, share our thoughts and speculate. And I mean, you could still do that, but it's much more shot in the dark speculation at the moment because there is nothing really there plot-wise, overarching to grip onto in terms of what could be going on here, who could be responsible, or what could be responsible.
It's kind of like something just to get you to the next story, as it were. Like, you must find your daughter.
Yeah. And so, speaking of the daughter, how do you feel about Jenny's involvement in this? How she worked into it?
See, when this was announced, I was a bit like, oh, we've kind of had that pairing in Legacy of Time. So I guess I was a bit more critical on it, just going, well, come on, guys, this is
Mix it up a little bit.
Yeah. But I think that it makes for a fine little trio, really, and I think the best way to describe that the sort of relationship and the story is just it's quite poetic, really.
I think for me, it doesn't not work.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it feels very bare bones. It feels like we need someone for the Doctor to interact with and bounce off of for these early scenes and later scenes. But, since it's an anniversary, it needs to be someone a bit more special. Oh, let's just go Jenny. It feels like a role that is quite easy to chop and change. And it
I
seems
would
like
I would
from
say this story, I feel like you could have any Doctor in.
It is just that connection of, oh, look, it's her actual dad's in real
Yeah.
life. And I mean, yeah, I'm not too sure about the way they're portraying the Doctors either at the moment, because it does just very much feel like the Fifth Doctor. It feels like a Fifth Doctor story
Yeah.
rather than the 8-4 War Doctor regenerating back into this form.
I think that was our big problem with the Fourth Doctor. I think it's more of a problem in past lives than it is in this one.
Yeah.
But listening to this story, I feel like it's more of a River Song story. It feels like it belongs in the Diary of a River Song more than this.
I could see that. And I suppose, again, it sort of plays into the whole, you could have put anyone in this. You could probably have easily slotted River into Jenny's place instead, and it would have still had the same effect, really.
It probably would, just wife and daughter, wouldn't it? It's
Yeah.
fine.
It's just more a functional plot element of the Doctor needs someone to talk to and bounce off of.
Yeah.
And he's obviously traveling solo at this point because he left Sarah Jane behind at the end of Past Lives.
Yeah.
Again. But I quite like what this has to say about art and the value of art. I think
Mhm.
there's a nice metatextual side to this story that is present throughout, and how people see the value of art. How it's sort of a bit like that conversation in City of Death between the Doctor and Romana about, well, that doesn't look like a real person at all. That doesn't look accurate. But it's like, what is the purpose of art? And it's also something that has been coming up a lot, ironically, with the previous cover for this about AI art.
Yeah, that's true.
Does it look good or not? And what's the point in art if not to reflect the artiste?
Hmm.
So I think that's a rather interesting discussion, and one that ironically was prevalent to this story, in that the original cover featured a bit of AI generated imagery, or AI assets, I suppose, were used on.
Yeah.
And then instead, things got switched up, thankfully, presumably because of a lot of complaints.
Backlash.
And we got this beautiful cover instead, which
It's a
I
glorious
really
cover.
do think it's turned out much for the better.
Um, I don't. I think you kind of get a snippet of the story, but not an awful lot.
Mm.
Probably you get more of a story in this than you probably did on the first cover.
Yeah, it's again much more of like a hopping round story.
Yeah.
Like, it's not all set in the gallery at the end of time. There's much more jumping around within this one. But I think it works a bit better because the plot has actually got going pretty early on.
It's
With
got a
Past Lives, it feels like you're waiting 15 minutes and you're still mucking about with the Doctor and the Monk.
yeah.
And I mean, Colin Baker as the curator, great as well.
Yeah.
No complaints there.
Nice scenes with Jenny, I think, towards the end.
And I think it's funny that in this series of the Doctor not quite being themselves, not quite knowing themselves, even seems to be part of the plot. Like, if you've watched the trailer, the Doctor says about how he's looking for himself, and yet with the curator, you do get a very different Doctor-ish figure of sorts. It's not Colin Baker playing the Sixth Doctor still. He gets to do something different, and he does it very well.
It makes you start to think: is this like the curator's origin? Possibly.
The early life of the curator. But yeah, I suppose we can get into that in a spoiler section. But yeah, I suppose any more non-spoilery comments on this one?
It's just, like you say, it's a step up.
Yeah, it's a step in the right direction, but I do worry about the overall picture of this series in that we are 2 episodes out of 7 in a way, because the Coda is sort of like something separate. That's coming out November next year, and it seems like the big finale is more episode 7. So 2 episodes out of 7 into this series, and not much has happened in terms of the overall story. It's more just been, oh, let's take a doctor and go on an adventure with them, with some other characters thrown in there as well because it's an anniversary. And that's sort of like what you come to Big Finish for anyway, a lot of the time.
It just feels like the legacy of Time Electric Boogaloo.
Mm.
Because the plot arc for that didn't get going until the Colin story, really. I think that was like the fourth one in the set or something like that. I can't remember.
I think that was fifth one actually, wasn't it?
Was it the fifth? I can't.
Yeah,
I'll
because
have
I
to double
think
check.
the Fifth Doctor and Jenny one, Relative Time, is it? Yeah, Relative Time.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Episode 4. Third Doctor's episode 3. Who's it? Seventh Doctor's episode 2 and Eighth Doctor's episode 1.
Yeah, I think that's when Legacy of Time got going. So I mean, I could be mistaken, but that's when I was like, "Oh, we're actually moving forward with this thing." So
yeah, do we have to wait till episode 6 of this series to actually get going?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hope not. I hope not.
Really, a step up in terms of quality. Not blown away by it by any means, but I think
that's a point we'll make next week because I think it's kind of a Big Finish this year.
I mean, rating out of 10?
I'd give it an 8.
Yeah, I'd say 7 or an 8.
Yeah.
So yeah, there we have it for our non-spoiler thoughts. So feel free to take a step back if you've not listened to this one and are planning to. You do care about spoilers. We are going to get into that now. Little warning there, but
hopefully you've all had a chance to listen to it because we're a bit late to reviewing it.
Yeah, I mean, when did it come out? A week and a half ago now? 2 weeks and a half ago? I don't know.
Yeah, nearly. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's nearly 3 weeks or something, isn't it?
But if you either don't care about spoilers or you've already listened, we're going to get into spoiler territory now for this one. So, I mean, you get a little cliffhanger at the end of it, don't you? To lead into the next one.
I would say that's where I was most. I don't want to say most enjoyed it, but like the final 4 minutes, like, oh wow, this is actually getting quite interesting because it goes a bit out of time, doesn't it? With sort of the beach ending. It sort of had that feel for it.
It sort of put me in mind of what is Time of the Angels, Flesh and Stone.
Yeah, I can see that.
I sort of pictured more of that kind of a cold, rocky beach for the end of this story, whereas Out of Time, with it being more of a party planet, I pictured that as more sun's out glowing and it's a nice sandy beach for the doctors to say goodbye on.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some wonderful scenes with the curator, like when he's with that child who's broken their toy.
Yeah, that's nice.
And I think there's wonderful emotional exploration of that character. He's at the end of the universe that if he is the Doctor, has spent his whole life trying to save. And I think there's quite a bit of introspection for both the Doctor and the curator here being at the end of the universe, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
In that the idea
he's quite resistant, isn't he? Because he's just like, I just want to cling on to, the sunrise rather than the sunset type feel.
I think it gets the fact that the universe is ending at this point very well, in that it's not very last days of the universe, but in terms of a universal scale, it's so many billions and billions, trillions or whatever of years at this point. And so there's still, like, from a human point of view, quite a lot of time left, quite a lot of universe left. But it's the fact that the universe itself, relatively speaking, is now very much in its twilight. And with that, you've got this sort of mystery of someone going around and destroying entire planets after the curator makes a piece of artwork there.
Yeah.
Because, they want to snatch up that artwork and sell it for profit. But what makes
Extortion
things
prices.
what makes things more valuable? Well, if the whole entire planet that the artwork was made on is no more, then that cracks up the value quite a bit, doesn't it? I mean, it's initially them looking into the fraud of it, that all these different pieces of art are in fact made by the same guy. And I mean, that mystery, is pretty obvious that it's going to be the curator.
I mean, I still think this story should be called like the Curator's Curse,
Oh, that'd be an interesting one.
because it kind of feels like everything the creator touches, it breaks or dies. So I think that would have been a cool. But then it would have given the game away that the curator's in it, but it'd been fine.
Well, I mean, it's not like that was kept a secret for long.
Yeah, true.
Revealed on the cover and in the news article. I mean, you could presume that the Martian invasion of Planetoid 50 is going to feature Ice Warriors, unless they're doing something else on it, because Invaders from Mars doesn't necessarily feature Ice Warriors, so it's not a given. But it feels like that's fair game speculation-wise. Yeah, it's a very interesting comment on where this value of art comes from, isn't it?
Because there's sections, isn't there, in the museum? It's either you can afford it or you can't. You've got like different sections, haven't you? Like if you can't afford it, go to like the gift shop or something like that. Because it's just one big gift shop, isn't it? Really, the museum, from what I gathered.
Yeah. Well, the gallery is the final gallery.
Yeah.
I mean, that was. I don't know about you, but before listening to this, I was kind of shocked that the curator wasn't at the final gallery, because he's a curator. You feel like that's going to be where he is and where
preserving the
whole
art
story is set. But no, it takes a twist on that, and I'm happy it did. I think it went in a more interesting direction.
Yeah.
With it, but at the same time, the culprit for this mystery is pretty obvious from the start. With it being the gallery itself, it's where the artworks end up. So it doesn't necessarily take too much hard work to put the pieces together.
It did make me think of Ice Heist in a way.
Oh, how so?
Just because that's like a bit of a, not like a gallery, but like an auction, isn't it? And it's just got that sort of futuristic setting, load of rich people there.
I like how things from the trailer are actually in the story. Like when I saw that snowman, I thought, oh, that's just a little bit of fun for the trailer. I mean, the Eye of Orion is in the trailer, and I thought, oh, that's just a nice bit of fun detail there, taking a known Doctor Who location. But no, that's actually in the story, and it works quite beautifully, doesn't it?
It works well for the Fifth Doctor's character, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's looping him back to the Five Doctors, isn't that?
And you think it makes sense for, I guess, somewhat the arc where it sort of is able to sort of calm the Doctor so he can see clearly and sort of get his head together with it all.
And I think it works witnessing the destruction of that, because it's something that not only the Doctor, but we as the audience
have an attachment already. Yeah.
So it does feel quite moving when that happens. I think there's a wonderful line, funny enough, in what is it? Pirates of the Caribbean at World's Ends, where I think it might be the Kraken or something that's dead. It's been so long since I watched it. But someone says like the world's getting smaller, and Jack, not Harkness, Sparrow,
yeah,
the world's not getting smaller, there's just less in it. Which, I mean, feels oddly poetically suited to this story as well. Although, at the same time, because I think, isn't there a theory that the universe is either going to shrink or it's just going to keep expanding?
Expanding, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I don't think scientists are entirely sure either way what's going on there. Yeah, Trevor Hicks asked earlier, how did Jenny know he was the Doctor? And Sam responded, I wonder. Well, it's sort of unclear, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
presumably
you never get an answer. I
Yeah.
guess it's all up to your own interpretation.
Yeah. I mean, how does it work in the relative time? Because I've not listened to that one.
I mean, I'll be honest, I've only listened to it once and I have zero memory of it. I'll be honest.
Yeah. I mean, because this definitely takes place after that for the Doctor, because
Yeah.
obviously this is either 8 or War Doctor time for
Yeah.
him. And presumably for Jenny as well. Be it sort of like odds that there's not really much reference to the fact that this isn't technically that same Doctor she met before.
Well, you don't get a hoo-ha about them being related at all.
No, they're
You don't
very
get a fanfare
chill with
about
it when they meet.
Yeah. Because I guess they're both right in the action, trying to uncover the mystery of the the gallery.
Yeah.
Kind of just go, oh, well, you must be something to do with me.
Yeah. So I suppose it's sort of played so that they can get away with it either way for people who have listened and people who haven't.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it does feel a bit odd. And also, how does it work that the Doctor hasn't met her yet still?
Yeah.
Is it that, I suppose because in the Doctor's daughter, as soon as she comes out of the machine, he's straight away like, she's my daughter.
Yeah.
It's like be that, it's not necessarily a huge reveal to him
Yeah.
when he sees her. Is that how they maybe get away with it? Is it just timeline shenanigans?
Is it a time war?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've also got the whole, I think Silas once mentioned here about how sometimes characters can recognize each other when they are Time Lord or part-time Lord just through who they are.
Mhm.
It's not necessarily a physical appearance thing. Sometimes they're just able to recognize each other. And sometimes they're not. It depends on the plot, really, doesn't
Yeah,
it? Like
it's what the
Dark
plot
Water
requires.
and stuff. Yeah. It's like the whole thing with did the Chameleon Arch hide the fact that he's a Time Lord from other Time Lords as well?
Yeah.
With the Master and the Doctor. Like, does that block their recognition of him even if they've seen him?
Mm.
It's an odd one. And again, it just mostly comes down to whether or not the plot requires
Never
it.
apply logic to Doctor Who.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The Brig knew who the Doctor was in Battlefield, says Trevor Hicks. I suppose he sort of stands out, doesn't it? I think the Brigadier's enough Doctors that he recognises the type.
Yeah, if you see some eccentric person.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone can be the Doctor now,
I mean, he sort of takes a second to recognise him in Old Friends.
Yeah. So I guess because Eccleston's very stripped back, isn't he? He's not going, look.
He's not a typical Doctor, is he, at that point?
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose we also don't know whether or not this story is still going to have happened or the Doctor's going to be able to retain it in his memory once the future storyline's wrapped up.
Yeah,
because how they'll get away with some of this.
Because you think with the regeneration thing going on, how much does the Doctor retain? Because he's trying to retain the idea of a diamond, which, nice nod for the diamond anniversary. He's trying to hold that.
Yeah, again, that's something that I thought would be more relevant to the plot of this, because it comes up pretty early on in the story, but then it's something completely different. And it's not really something that we as an audience can grip onto as a detail. Yeah. It's more just there for the Doctor, and it's just to say, there's something going on here. You don't know what exactly it is, and neither does the Doctor, it seems.
Yeah.
It does. As a mystery, this overall story, I'm concerned about how it's all going to come together. And I mean, sometimes like Dalek Universe, that felt a bit odd making my way through it, but with the particularly cliffhanger to episode 8, what was that? The Dalek Defense.
Yeah.
Things all start to come together there. You see what this whole arc has been about. So you never know. The same could happen here with Once and Future. I'm not
I
writing it
think.
off at all, but I have concerns.
I mean, I think they're valid. Because I think when you sign up for these things, you buy in blind, and you
Mm.
see that this is the flagship Big Finish project of the year. So you expect probably something with a bit of oomph, and I don't
Yeah,
think we've had the oomph really.
no. They do feel like quite small stories as well, funnily enough, for the big anniversary. And again, maybe that's just to give a
Are they
bit more
small
variety to them,
fries
and
or
there's bigger stuff coming later.
yeah, is this like just for small fry, and we get the big jigsaw with Coda? And I mean, it's Tim Foley, and we love Tim Foley here.
Mm,
So I'm sure that he'll wrap it up, and we'll be very happy with it.
yeah.
But right
I mean,
now,
he retroactively improved 40 as a series a lot, didn't he, with
yeah, he
42?
did. Again,
Yeah. I mean, that
maybe
all
this
came
is the curse of Big Finish.
together.
It's that sort of thing where it will all come together, and we'll look back on it fondly. But
Yeah. I think the oomph is building, says Trevor Hicks. Yeah, could be the
I
case.
definitely the final 4 minutes, I was like, all right, this is cool. But then it's like, oh no, we're going into sort of sidestep territory with
Mm,
which we'll get onto the trailer for the next installment once we finish talking about this.
yeah. I mean, any final thoughts on the artist at the end of time then?
I really enjoy. I think for me, I really started to click with the story in the middle when we went to the snowy planet.
Oh, and at the
I think
snowman.
that's when it become quite beautiful, and there's a lot of introspect with the Doctor and Jenny and the curator. I think there was quite a wholesome moment. I'm just sitting on like a picnic basket and stuff like that, and I was like, this is really nice.
Yeah, it's just full of beautiful, poignant moments. And so it does feel like a bit like hopping from set piece to set piece though at times. And
Yeah,
certainly
it's not
early
hopping.
no. But yeah, certainly early on before the Doctor and Jenny meet up, it does feel a bit tedious though. And I mean this is a bit of a long one, isn't it? An hour, 6 minutes.
Hmm.
I wonder if some of that could have been shaved off if we got to the Doctor and Jenny meeting up a bit earlier.
Hmm.
But yeah. I mean, there's also another odd line in this where I believe it's the first Doctor when he's sort of like flicking through regenerations a bit just after the opening
Yeah, that
titles.
was a surprise, actually.
Yeah, we do get. I think it's the first, second, and third. Stephen
Mhm.
Noonan, Michael Troughton, and Tim Treloar for that bit, and then you get Colin as the Doctor himself and
Yeah.
Sylvester at the end. Yeah, no Tom here. Funnily enough, he doesn't get to
Yeah.
cameo. I wonder if he will at all, or if that's it now that he's done past lives.
Tom doesn't do cameos.
No, but I mean, is it that once the Doctor's settled in one appearance for a while,
Hmm.
he then never switches up again?
Hmm.
Could that be like the countdown of sorts? I suppose.
Maybe.
But yeah, anyway, the line that you hear the first Doctor say is like, "We must hold together" or something, which sort of feels wrong to me. In that, so it should be "I must" because they are just the Doctor.
Yeah.
But I suppose you could sort of say it's similar to the 11 with his split personality. Is this something along those lines where the Doctor is seeing himself as multiple people, even though he is one person?
I mean, it would be nice if you did get more of the breaking down of the Doctor in the
Yeah.
stories, just so you don't, so it doesn't, like we say, feel more like your atypical Doctor Who story.
Yeah, because it never really feels like post-regeneration or anything like that, or there's a crisis going on. It
They feel
does,
quite stable, really.
yeah. And it always does just feel like it is that Doctor again, at least so far. It feels like it's just the 4th and 5th Doctor. Nothing particularly unusual about them.
Mhm.
Which, I mean, I can see why, because, that's who they are. That's who you'd want, in a way, for something celebrating 60 years of the show. But at the same time, why are you then coming up with this idea that leans into so much more possibility there with the character of the Doctor, and
Yeah.
how, this is at a later point in their life. This is during the Time War. Why are we not getting more of that side of thing? I mean, it's very quickly brushed away, isn't it, during Past Lives? Doctor's like, oh, good, I've broken away of the Time War. That's a
Yeah.
bonus. And then it's just,
Do you think with this being about, like, the universe dying, you could link it back to the Time War going, no matter how much the Time War goes on or whatever, there'll always be that finality or something like that,
mm,
or this is why I fight the war or something daft like that, so I
yeah,
could see the sunrise or, you think you could have something like that.
mm, yeah, that's what. Shall we talk about a genius for war, since we've mentioned the Time War, and we're going back into that for this one now?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. We just got to skip through.
Got to go through the special edition first.
Yeah, whenever that will arrive.
Yeah, I mean, we're still waiting for our replacement stuff for Past Lives, aren't we? Our
Yeah,
embossed
yeah.
cover and the numbering. But yeah, I mean, still a very solid cover there.
Yeah, still a very solid cover. I think probably my favourite cover of the lot so far.
Mm. I think I'm still partial to the new Artist at the End of Time cover.
All right.
Yeah, this is close second though. I do like it. But what do you think of the trailer? Because you mentioned to me you had some thoughts when you first heard this.
Yeah, it's kind of 50-50.
Mm.
Because you think, great. Because, like, like, the end of, Artist at the End of Time, it's like, right, I'm the doc. McCoy's like, I'm the doctor who's going to sort this out. He's the chess player. He'll get all the pieces on the board and flip it all over. And it feels like I don't want to say generic Time War story, but it feels very much like, where it's going to go. The Daleks are going to backstab, like, oh no, it's not. It was all a trick along, Doctor. You fell for it. Hee hee. With Davros. It feels very sort of like restoration of the Daleks.
Yeah, very much so. Because that was Davros calling to the Time Lords to say, the Daleks have betrayed me. Let me help you instead.
Yeah,
So,
and we can end the war. And yeah. So I feel like I've heard it already, which is my worry.
Yeah. I think my worry as well was that, it's very much said that I was in the middle of something, but now I've got to go do this in the Time War for you. It's another side quest,
Yeah.
which is a bit awkward when we are now 3 episodes in and they've all been sidesteps in a way from the main plot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at least this seems to be an exciting action-packed sidestep with Daleks, Davros, Time Lords and such. And it's just nice getting to see the Time Warp with a different Doctor, particularly the 7th Doctor. He seems perfectly suited to that.
Yeah, I think that's the most exciting of the formula so far.
Yeah, because as we say, so far we've had 4th Doctor with Sarah Jane. That's not exactly a exciting new combo.
Yeah, which could have done more with.
Yeah, 5th Doctor with Jenny, which feels like the typical, haha, look, she's actually his daughter this time, along with the fact that they've already done it once before.
Yeah.
Here, I mean, we have heard the 7th Doctor with Davros before and seen it on TV as well, but it's not a regular event. He's more of the Colin Doctor, really, isn't he? On all the
Yeah.
if he was to have a main Doctor, it would definitely be Colin. So it's nice to have that bit a bit different. And of course, it being Seventh Doctor in the Time War. I think
I mean, to be fair, McCoy could probably end the Time War, to be honest.
Very nice. But, yeah, certainly. I'm intrigued by this one still. And I'm hoping it'll be a fun one. But at the same time, again, it sort of shakes my faith in the overall story that we are now going to be presumably 3 episodes into this. It could pull the rug out from under us and actually feature huge plot developments. But based on these so far, I can't say I'm going to get my hopes up too much.
How do you feel about Jonathan Morris?
It's all like hard to place. Sometimes I feel like there's absolute bangers from him. Other times I couldn't care less.
I'm just thinking back to like his Time War 2 story.
Oh, the very first one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't. Yeah.
And I'm just starting to think,
solid
oh
one.
God, is it going to be that again?
Yeah, that was rather dull. I mean, that didn't really feature the Daleks, though, did it?
Yeah, it's true.
This feels much more like a Time War distilled story rather than trying to do something different with the Time War. But I'm just trying to have a look through Jonathan Morris's other recent.
Oh yeah, Lords of Terror wasn't it? Yeah. Because like Jonathan Morris was sort of a main staple, and he's sort of become less regular now.
Yeah.
Just looking at
he did the Ark. Well, he adapted it.
You've listened to that. I've not touched it.
That's sort of a hard one to judge, though, because it's obviously he's working within the restraints of what John Luca Rotti's original work was. So that's something hard one to judge. Purity Undreamed, he did. The second one, Reverse Engineering, which I quite enjoyed. I think that was your least favourite episode, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was. Emancipation of the Daleks I had a good time with.
There you go. But what did he do in Warbringer? There we go. That's a more recent time also. Savior. That was a good action-packed one. That's like the final one of Warbringer. Where
that was really good.
That
was really good.
Yeah. And Day of the Comet and what was that other Fourth Doctor one? Chase Night. They're both solid ones. So, yeah, I think overall pretty good stuff from Jonathan Morris.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful for this one, but
at the same time worried about Once Empire overall.
Oh, sorry?
He sorted Chameleon Empire out, sort of the chameleon stuff. He resolved that well.
Oh, Starsman says, will the next one tie into Palindrome? There's been speculation by fans it'll be a prequel. I think we'll be lucky if there's any sort of
any link
Time War chronology within this. I think Big Finish have sort of given up on that at this point. It feels
like. The whole Big Finish Time War tapestry. I don't think this is probably part of it.
No, I'm not even sure if it really exists at this point. It feels very much like, because they're jumping about it so much, it's just a case of who's available at what time and what they're in the mood to do, really. Which in some ways, fair enough. Just focus on telling good stories at this point. But
yeah, I think that's the most important thing. If there's a story to be told, tell it.
Sarashman says, I hope that Time Lord space station crashes or blows up because that sound design would be so good to hear. Maybe.
You
never know. I wonder, is that just where he's been called for a briefing?
Maybe. It's just like a command center or something.
Yeah. I mean, it's a nice little bit of Classic Who mixed in with the new Time War aesthetic, isn't it?
Yeah.
But shall we move on from what's next for Once and Future and instead look at what's next for the Fifth Doctor?
Oh, he's good at the segues, isn't he? He knows what he's doing, just old Luke.
Yeah. The Fifth Doctor's Anti-Communist Alliance, which it's an interesting, title for this news story. I don't know if the Doctor himself is particularly anti-communist. I'm pretty sure he's more anti-capitalist and anti-communist. But I mean, have you watched Oxygen? Big Finish. But yeah, we finally got news of the next story in this set and a cover as well. So
Yeah, they sort of just for Davison just like here, have it months in advance.
I mean,
I expect this sooner, to be honest.
yeah, but at the same time, we still got it before anything from August. Really, like we still don't have Sixth Doctor or Ninth Doctor details yet.
That's true, actually. That is true. They don't normally with Eccleston like here's some more Eccleston.
Yeah, I thought that's got to come in the next week
Yeah,
because you've got Vortex coming out at the start of July, and usually that's going to be focusing on the following month, August. So yeah, I mean, we've got to get a cover for the next River Song set, which we'll talk about in a minute. Got to get cover and details for Ninth Doctor, Sixth Doctor. Got to get For Once and Future as well. Two's Company. And Torchwood also has a to be announced monthly range release.
Was that the startup of the monthly range again, is it?
Yeah. They took 3 months off while they did Among Us. That's going to conclude next month. And then it's back to the monthly range. So yeah, there's a lot of to be announced stuff coming. I don't think we'll get it all in the next week, just because that's a huge amount. But I think we should at least get the majority of it. Torchwood, I could see them holding off on. I mean, remember with what was it, Caddock Point? Like that came out January 2022, but the news didn't come until like December, wasn't it? In 2021.
Yeah.
It's mad sometimes with Torchwood how they work that out. But yeah, in the night though, what do you think of the second story, Resistor by Sarah Grahala? 2 parts. We're going to Behind the Iron Curtain in a the TARDIS lands in a basement beneath a club in Warsaw in 1982, which is a bit of a surprise. The Doctor was hoping to take Nissa and Tegan to Yugoslavia, but a bigger surprise is yet to come. A band on stage are missing one of their musicians, and getting them out through the gig is only the start of the TARDIS crew's troubles. Something strange is happening on the streets. Black cars glide through the city, picking off unwary. Some are driven by the secret police, but others by something very much not of this world. I'm assuming that's what that funny alien on the cover is. I do like how these covers call back to the double bill monthly range ones.
Yes.
Like being half on one side, half on the other. Because Ryan Aplin did the same sort of thing for Conflicts of Interest. What are your thoughts on this second story in the set?
It feels like a mishmash of Fanfare for the Common Men and Red Planet, I would guess. Just off that sort of brief synopsis. But I can't say I'm too excited for that one because Sarah Crocella broke God of War, I think.
Yeah, and I know 2-parter for the Fifth Doctor recently, and
which felt longer than a 2-parter.
But I think my least favorite of the Fifth Doctor relaunch stories so far.
And did you write the Hollow Crown?
Yeah, she did write that one.
That was good. But did she write False Dimitri?
Yes. So
ain't looking good.
2 against 1. This could even the scales there.
Yeah, I hope it does. I hope.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite intrigued by the setting of this one and the concept exploring that.
I mean, I don't know if, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know if 2 parts are enough for it. But we'll see. I mean, it's hard to really get a gauge on what the story's actually going to be about. So it could be
a chunky 2-parter.
Yeah, I mean, they often are for these box sets now, aren't they? Yeah, I mean, The Ghost of Margaret, which I've got up next, is like 40 minutes for part 2, and I think 33 for part 1. So pretty hefty there for a 2-parter. But yeah, I mean, it's always sort of fascinating, isn't it, to think of Doctor Who going out at this time when all these events are going on in the world with the Cold War and such. The classic. So it's just funny seeing this as a historical
Yeah.
and yet it's also
Contemporary.
contemporary for the era that it's a part of. So that'd be intriguing. Yeah, it's sort of like the alien sort of gives me like Roswell vibes, I suppose. It's sort of that typical your 50s style alien, isn't it?
Yeah, if it's a yeah.
So, yeah, as for the cover, I'm not so sold on it. I don't think it's a bad cover by any means. So I'll take it over a lot of the painted covers we've been getting. But
You mean the Jamie one?
oh, definitely the Jamie one.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it does feel like a bit of a step down from the quality of some of Ryan Aplin's other work. It's mainly just the Fifth Doctor that sort of throws it all off. He just feels like a bit of an odd pose there.
I think it's from Time Flight, isn't it? Well, the head is of Davison.
I mean, yeah, maybe that's also the other red flag that it's raised.
Yeah.
But yeah, he sort of has an enlightenment look about him, though, with the wheel there.
It does feel very 80s, though. I'll give it that. It sort of gives me sort of, like the season 19 trilogy, like Starmen, Ghost War,
Yeah.
has that sort of energy and feel to it.
I like how it also mirrors the conflict of interest cover with the black car there being in the same placement as the buggy was on that cover. I mean, that all works together quite nicely. And I mean, that little space suit there to the side is very cool. The way that
I think that's the one from Doctor Wither in the Wardrobe.
it does have that look about it, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think I sent the picture to you actually.
Mm-hmm.
I can find it again.
On
Here it is.
Toned Troughton.
Yeah.
Troughton.
Yeah, am I okay to
Yeah.
check?
I'll remove that so you can put your little finger.
Yeah. He's giving me the Fifth Doctor on that cover is giving me this sort of vibe.
Yeah.
It's so much that same pose only flipped and that same sort of facial expression. That was just my first thought upon seeing that cover. But yeah, there you go. I suppose now all that's left is River Song. Unless you've got anything else to say about In the Night.
No. This is the big one. This is I don't know how to feel about this one.
So
they just announced River Song and Jackie Tyler versus Crotons. Like, oh, buzzing. Click on the news article. One final chapter. And you're like, excuse me, Big Finish?
What? Yes, what have you just done here? I know, that was sad. Yeah, my reaction was just a bit sad, really.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not usually that bothered by things ending at Big Finish because often they sort of
they never end.
There's a tendency for them to go on beyond their time, and along with that, often when something's announced to be ending, it comes back pretty soon after anyway. Like with Gallifrey Time War, you're pretty quickly thrown into Gallifrey War Room like the next year. So we're sort of like in a state of, oh yeah, Big Finish, of course it's an ending. But with this, like with the fact that it's not a ongoing series as such, it is more, it's just jumping about River Song's life doing different stories, really. So you could have easily got away with putting this out and then just not having another one for a little bit, really, and people wouldn't necessarily have batted an eye.
And you think River must be doing all right because she was getting 2 box sets a year.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly like they're not selling.
Yeah, because I mean, often when things aren't selling that well, they don't necessarily announce that something's a final box set.
Yeah.
It seems more like they'll release one, hope it sells well enough for them to make another one, like with countermeasures and such. And then in the end, it doesn't necessarily sell well enough, so they just have to sort of, when someone emails in and asks, "Oh, when's this series coming back?" They'll say, "It's out. Sorry, it didn't sell well enough, so we're not doing it anymore."
Just imagine it sold well. We'll be having more.
Yeah, it's sort of like that. I mean, it's similar with the state the Sixth Doctor and Perry and Seventh Doctor New Adventures are in that. They're not necessarily officially over, because I mean, there's
They're just
only
shelved
with
for
the
now.
Sixth Doctor and Perry, that storyline's not wrapped up. But yeah, like you say, it just feels like it's shelved. Whereas the way they've announced this, it very much feels like, yeah, this is it,
Yeah.
which just was a note of sadness for me, really, because it's been an up and down journey. But I
I
feel
feel
like,
like it's just got its legs, really. Because I think we all criticise it, going, "Oh, what Doctor is it going to be this time?" River as a character,
yeah,
she has her own agency. She's a strong enough character to, lead her own series. She doesn't need a Doctor there for her.
mm.
And
and
now,
she,
we got it. Now it's cut short.
yeah. And also along with that, we're at the point of being like, well, she still hasn't met this Doctor and this Doctor yet. Why are you
Yeah, yeah,
cancelling it now before doing that? Yeah, and it just feels like such an odd box set to end on, with it
yeah.
being an anthology one.
It feels very like Lives of Captain Jack 3.
I
But
mean,
we
yeah,
know
it's
what that's ended,
yeah. But yeah, that's even mentioned in the article, isn't it? If you were
Yeah.
wondering about Jackie's unlikely friendship with Mrs. Song at number 23 in the Lives of Captain Jack Volume 3. I never was wondering about that, to be honest, but I can't say I remember that if it was even in the story I listened to from that set. Then here's the answer. It was a kind day, and she equally dream of as one of Doctor's most beloved monsters. Meet the Croton. Met the Crotons. Will Jackie Tyler become a high brain?
This is a high brain.
I mean, there was some jokes about what's Big Finisher throwing things at dartboards again.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, that as a story seems quite intriguing. I think there's a fun combination there between
Alpha.
Jackie and River. It'd be a good spark. Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, that's something that Doctor Who has, not Doctor Who, sorry, Big Finish has done very well in finding these odd combinations that work really well, like Owen and Andy in Torchwood.
Hmm.
So I trust that these will work well together and it'll be a fun story. I think,
It's
yes.
it feels very Bernie Summerfield, because if you look at the Bernie Summerfield range, Benny gets handed like the Z-list monsters, like the monoids, the Dravins. She gets the obscure stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
I know.
and it's
Is this
weird to
the
think
first
this is.
time the Croton's been in Big Finish since that Sixth Doctor Charlie story?
Yeah, I think this is their second time. I could be wrong.
Uh, so yeah, we've got The Excise Man by Lou Morgan, Harvested Crotons by James Goss. So that'll be the sort of like the one they're pitching the most with Jackie and River and the Crotons.
I
Then
wonder if the Crotons would have a redesign.
well, that's true. Yeah, because with it being Jackie, you sort of get the feeling that it's going to be a 2005/6 era style story, don't you?
Yeah.
Being a star, not a star, sorry, a spa.
Mm.
That sort of setting, presumably somewhere in London. I'm imagining it's going to have more of a Russell feel than the usual Moffat-y feel of the River Song series. Yeah, and then Dead Man Talking by Tim Foley. Apparently, this was written quite a while ago by him, one of his first scripts. That's just the timey-wimey way it works. And I believe, Stage, when you pointed out earlier that, it seems odd that this would be the last one if this was a script prepared quite a while ago.
It feels like the original Series 8 they had planned.
Yeah, perhaps. It does very much feel like there's something more going on here.
Mm.
I mean, I don't want to do the tinfoil hat moment of, oh, she's going to get her own spin-off series on TV or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't. It just feels odd because Alex Kingston has
She
seemingly
loves
been
it.
loving doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, is it just the end of Diary of a Song, or is it the end of River at Big Finish as well? Is she going to be faded out?
That's the question, and a part of me feels like it's Russell wanting to build his own spin-offs, going Big Finish. Can we just put a sock in it for just a couple of years, and then you can have it back, just so he
I
can
don't know.
focus on his things.
I think Russell is quite happy for Big Finish to do all this stuff though, because I mean, he was. I don't think we'd have got the Rani spin-off otherwise, because by the time that was in development, he'd have very much been taking a chance. I'm pretty sure he had a small hand in it in some way.
Yeah, you'd hope he'd have a hand with the Rani stuff.
And I mean, he's also had a small hand in Doomsday, or at least was, brought in for the press release of that to talk about it.
Yeah.
And that seems to more be spin-off territory than main Doctor Who ones like the Time Lord Victorious series was.
For me, it just feels like there's going to be a bit of a tightening of certain things.
Yeah, I mean, I think Unit is done after Nemesis, at least new series Unit. I don't think we'll be seeing that again. I think they're back again for the finale, aren't they? From what I've heard about filming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe is it Moff? Maybe, but I can't see Moff. Don't know.
But it definitely. I mean, 12 series is still very good. I think you pointed out that it's not reached Jago Lightfoot's level. They've cut it off before it can overtake that as the most box sets in a spin-off series.
Yeah. Which is only right because Jago Lightfoot, Stylish One, is the king of spin-offs.
Just seeing what people in the chat are saying about this. Whovium of Walker Collection says River Song series ending. What? Yeah, it's just shocking.
It wasn't made clear. It's just going, look, here's a quirky camp title for you to click. And then you read that and you're like, no.
I think it's definitely one of those news pieces that does make me feel a bit sad.
Yeah.
There's like other series, like if you were to say the War Masters ending, I'd be like, yeah, it's been all right, but it's run its course now.
Yeah. Whereas I think River's just, I don't want to say hit its stride, but because of how January's box set left us, we're like, this is the best River I've ever experienced.
But I think, even without Friend of the Family, I think I'd still feel quite sad about this because this is a spin-off I've followed since the start.
I mean, this is the thing. You've been known in our group chat as the River Slut. So this is the hard news for you, isn't it?
Yeah, but I feel like I've certainly been critical of the box sets that didn't do much for me.
Yeah.
Series 9 in particular was, I wouldn't say a low point, but more just I expected better from this.
Yeah.
You had such a strong premise and it's let down. But yeah, I mean, usually I should be like happy because it's like, yay, one less series to buy. I can save money now.
That's the only thing.
Not that I have to buy them anyway, but
yeah.
And it doesn't feel like there'd be much point in relaunching this because I feel like there's nothing wrong with Diary of the Song as a series because it is doing so many
for the range, isn't it?
It is just doing so many different River things anyway, and in a way, it sort of had a relaunch in that we've had that change of cover format and the individual titles, box set titles. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, the Orphan Quartet. Well, that's quite a nice title.
Yeah.
I don't know how it relates to the box set as a whole, but it's a curious title, and I'm intrigued to see how that works out. But yeah, I suppose R.I.P. Diary of River Song.
Gone but not forgotten. I'm sure we'll cover it. Maybe we'll do one big final River.
I feel like we kind of got to at this point.
Yeah, kind of, because this is a moment in history.
I mean, Friend of the Family, we sort of weren't necessarily planning on doing until we started listening, and we were like, "My goodness, this is incredible stuff. We've got to talk about it."
This is a good jam.
I feel like this was sort of like been a take it or leave it box set when it came to should we stream about it or not. But since it's the final one, I think we've got to do it.
For you.
Yeah, out in style.
Yeah. Oh, dear me. But yeah, more on River next time because I'm sure we'll be talking more about her.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll get the cover sooner or later as well. Oh, that was another thing I said to you about. Because remember when we had the news of Series 9, New Recruit? The
Yeah,
third Doctor wasn't mentioned in that at all.
yeah.
Could there be something from this box set they've yet to reveal that's hidden on the cover? Could it be Ninth Doctor or a different Doctor or something?
Troughton, 'cause it's Crotons.
I mean, I think they did it for Series 10 as well, actually, with the Autons. They weren't revealed until the cover came along.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
And when Friend of the Family was announced, that was announced with the cover.
Mm.
Yeah, who knows? Could there be something hidden in this box set that is yet to be revealed? But yeah, either way, if this is the end of Diary of a Song and we don't get the Ninth Doctor in it, can we please have River in a Ninth Doctor Adventures set?
Yeah.
I feel like that.
I mean, if they've done Liv and Helen, not Liv and Tanya, sorry.
Yeah.
Surely
You can find a place in Ninth Doctor Adventures to squeeze River in there. And I mean, if not, this sort of does feel like maybe it would be the right place to have him in the Diary of a Song if it is more of a Series 5 style series in the same way that, Series 9 New Recruit was a Season 7 style series. Yeah, we'll see what route this one goes down. But yeah, it's a sad day.
It's
Or
a sad.
Friday was a sad day at least when this was
Yeah.
and I mean, I don't think she's not confirmed for Once and Future.
I thought she was for some reason.
No, I don't think. I think
I had it in my head that she
you've
was a
got
part of it.
we've got Missy still to come, Paternoster Gang still to come, Lady Christina still to come. Who's David Warner's Unbound Doctor still to come, but we know that's going to be with the Ninth Doctor. And I think Harry Sullivan as well at some point.
Yeah.
Oh, Jackie as well.
The year of Jackie.
Yeah, Jackie's supremacy is around the corner.
Absolute slay.
Stylishon says the Paternoster Gang is now the regular Big Finish new series spin-off.
No, you're happy. You get a Paternoster.
Yeah. I mean, River would be a pretty interesting fit for that as well.
Yeah, true. Maybe that's how River survives. She just hops in over spin-offs.
But yeah, I feel like there's got to be something more going on here. Not sure what it could be at the moment, but it feels like this was at the height of its success. I don't think the sales were bad.
No.
Yeah.
And Alex Kingston has said to me that she would do them pretty much every day if she could.
Yeah, she loves the character. She loves getting to play it. So,
unless
just look at that smile as she's holding onto a Croton. Does she even know what a Croton is? Who knows? But she's loving it. Yeah, it's an infectious energy, isn't it? In the series, you have those sort of leads. Ben, you should really listen to Diary of a Song Series 2. The middle two stories are generally considered some of the best of the range. Have you still not gone to that one yet?
I listened to the first story of that set.
Oh yeah, that's rubbish.
Yeah, and I just never went back to it. I mean, I've got a few River sets I need to actually do. So River's not over for me yet. I've still got to do 2 Rivers and a Firewall, but you've kind of made me go, don't go near it.
No, I've told you go near Tim Foley's one, the 2 Rivers. I've told you to do that one. Other than that, I've not really recommended it that highly.
Yeah.
I'd say Black Friday as well.
Oh, the Stuart Pringle and Lauren Mooney one.
Yeah, that's worthwhile. But I mean, currently you've got a lot of Big Finish on your plate, haven't you?
Yeah. And especially for the next stream, I've got my homework to do.
Yeah, so next Friday we'll be back with that, won't we? As we do our top 5 of the year so far. Oh, quite fittingly, Who From a Small Collection says, I listened to 2 Rivers and a Firewall today. I found it very good. Well,
okay.
glad you enjoyed Hoovian.
Nice.
But yeah, I think, is that it for us tonight?
I think so, unless there's any last questions.
Yeah, pop in the chat if you do have anything to ask us. But if not, we'll be seeing you next Friday. I mean, we still don't necessarily have our top fives finalized, do we? We're still waiting. I mean, there is always the chance of something coming along and changing things usually, but at the moment it feels like everything's up for grabs.
Yeah, because like we said, I guess this is more of next week's topic, but I think Big Finish this year has been kind of good. And that there's not been breakaway releases like last year where you had your old friends Annihilators. This year it's kind of been the level of really good stuff. I'll be honest, I don't think there's been a stinker. There's not been an offender, I would say, where I'm like, that was really bad. I think it's just been all on the same page, and that's good.
Yeah, it's just not much of a chance to
Maybe Double,
stand
actually.
out.
Double's been a bit of, but I don't really class Double.
I don't know. Double had its moments, though, I feel.
Yeah.
I think there's some strong moments within there and some moments of promise because it feels very much like a setup for future ones to come. But at the same time, it had its why are we doing this moments as well. Before the stream, I listened to Purity Undreamed and oh my god, what happened to Hebe? Also, love how Series 6 classic villains have nearly all been used in the last 2 years, just saying we all know the space pirates are next. Oh, yes, because you had Land of Fiction in
I mean,
War Master, Dominators.
You had a reference to space pirates in Dalek Universe. I
Did
liked
you?
them.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
That's more just House of Kingdom.
Yeah, but that's more just general space pirating stuff rather than those.
I just like to think that it's those space pirates.
They are part of Terry Nation's world. Yeah. No. Ben, you've got to have recommendations from this sale. Oh, yeah, it's the Warner sale, isn't it?
Oh, the David Warner one. Buy it all. It's David Warner. At least get, if you haven't got it already, Sympathy of the Devil. It's free.
Oh, yeah, it is.
That's worth your time. I mean,
what's the next? The War one. What's that called?
Master of War.
Yeah, I think no Masters, isn't it? Of War?
Masters, yeah.
Yeah, that one's an absolute banger.
I would, interesting actually. Have you got the Rose Mariners in the sale?
I imagine so. I think it is literally everything David Warner has contributed to.
I mean, I've been tempted by the Scarifiers. Oh yeah, the Rose Mariners, yeah. I recommend Blood and Steel. I think that's possibly the best of the Benny stuff, like the New Adventure stuff.
I mean, there's also the first, like probably 15 minutes or so of the first episode of that Will Common is available for free. So if you want to get a quick tease of that, then see. But yeah, that's brilliant stuff about how fascism can rise and such. And it's just, there's some very scary parallels to the world we're living in at the moment. In that, yeah, poignant stuff there.
And I would say Ruler of the Universe, because I think it's a great exploration of Benny and the Unbound Doctor still getting to know each other and the collapse. It feels very Capaldi because you have the Unbound Doctor being the president of the universe and him trying to maintain this universe that is shrinking with entropy. So good. And you get some classic David Warner one-liners. Having a go at the last surviving person, just going, "Shut up, you old bat," and stuff like that. He's just like, it's great. He just does not care, and I love the Unbound Doctor.
You've also got some Jacob Lightfoot here because he played Dr. Luke Betterman in that series. You've got Jacob Lightfoot forever, and I'm assuming you've got series 9 as well, which was his first one. Yeah, here it is. that one I do definitely recommend for this time of year as well, because it's a good holiday sort of listen,
Yeah.
because Jaguar Light for themselves are off on a cruise. And I mean, particularly the one that David Warner's in, the Devil Dice Man, is
That's the first one,
one
isn't
of
it?
my second one.
Oh, second one.
Yeah, that's when they go to a Monte Carlo casino and such, and there's some murders going on there. Yeah, I really enjoy that one, but yeah, it's quite fitting for this time of year, I suppose. And what is it? Series 10 and Series 13 here as well. Yeah, Series 10, I think definitely worth a look.
And I recommend his Series 2 Fourth Doctor stuff.
Yeah,
Because
I probably need to get around to that at some point.
they're
Just that.
really good.
Nah.
Have you got them?
No, anything I've got from
Buy them
Series
now.
2
Buy them
is
now. They're on sale. Save
the
yourself.
download though.
Ah.
And I've already got Justice of Jalxar physical, so it'll feel wrong mixing and matching between. I thought, yeah, I do regret not getting those physical while I had the chance.
You should. I mean, you're not buying anything in July, so
The whole point of that was to save money, though.
it's fine.
Yeah.
It's David Warner and Tom Baker.
I mean, apparently, what's it called? The audio novel's out next week, so we'll see how that goes down. Yes, or not next week. Sorry, the week after, first week of July. Yeah. Listen to the podcast, and that's going to be the next feature on that. So presumably that'll be coming in that week. Yeah, I mean, July looking a pretty quiet month for us at least.
Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah, gives us a chance to catch up a little bit and also do some other preparation for our big projects.
Yeah.
All shall be revealed in the fullness of time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure we'll have another chat with Stephen as well. So July's it's a quiet month for Big Finish, but not for us. Not for us. Not for us.
No. Hoover with Small Collector says, it's my birthday on Wednesday, and I know I'm getting some out of print Big Finish, just don't know which ones.
Happy birthday for Wednesday.
Yeah, happy birthday for Wednesday, and hope that you get some great stuff there.
Yeah, have a merry day.
Hoover with Small Collector says, thank you, Stylish. I shall tell you what I get next stream. We should also be looking forward to it. Feels like we're kind of eavesdropping in on a conversation.
Yeah. Like, what's going on here? Yeah.
Even though it's in our chat.
Our chat. Okay.
Sorry, Ben's chat.
Yeah. Damn straight, Luke.
I'm just a guest here.
Yeah, you're just a guest. I can kick you at any time. Jokes. Not gonna do that. Not gonna do that. I like you. So you can
thank you.
You can stay. A little bit longer.
Just for that. Just as long as I know my place.
Yeah. You know. It's all fine.
I don't think we've got anything more to say there, really.
Yeah.
I mean, Once the Future, still going all right for now? Not good.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. It's happening. We're here for the ride. You know?
Yeah. Do you feel like you've soured on Past Lives at all?
I probably maybe a little bit.
Yeah. The more I think about that one, the more I just feel meh towards it. But I think I saw someone out on Twitter sum it up quite well, as it just feels like a bunch of things happening. But I don't think they summed it up like this, to be honest. So I'm putting words into someone's mouth who I'm not even naming because I'm afraid I can't even remember who they are. But yeah, it just feels like a lot of stuff happening, but not really any meaning to any of it. It feels like a very hollow release to me. I suppose it's the way to sum it up.
I downloaded it again to listen to it, but I just I've lost the heart for it.
Yeah.
And when the CD arrived, I was just like, I think that's probably what made me think about it again. And I was like, maybe not.
Yeah, it's like, did the hype maybe help us get through it a little bit, even if we were never less disappointed the first time.
Yeah, because you're kind of living for it, going, "Oh, it's Tom and Sarah, it's Tom and Sarah, Tom and Sarah." Like you're thinking, "This is gonna get good. It's gonna get good," and you reach the end, you're like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure when we get to the end of Once and Future, we'll do a tier list, so we'll see how it falls there. But yeah, certainly, the Artist at the End of Time is at least a stronger contribution to the series, and
Yeah.
there's so much Tom out at the moment that we have got good Tom elsewhere, thankfully.
Is this the year of Tom?
It could very well be.
I think it is. I think it is.
Is there more Tom than there was in 2021 when we had was it 2020?
Yeah, 'cause you had Dalek Protocol, didn't you?
Yeah, there was something else in. Oh, it was the Lost Stories in March,
Yeah,
and then you had series 10. Sorry,
yeah.
Volume 1 and Volume 2 in February. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot going down that year for Tom as well. I swear there was. That was Out of Time as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, that's 2020.
2020. There was something else for him though, like later on. Oh, God of Phantoms.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's a reason why you didn't remember that one. Yeah.
But yeah, never. There was a lot of Tom there, but yeah, maybe there is more this year.
I mean, Angels and Demons. That's already a big old chunky set, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, but you did have the 9 last year as a chunky set.
Yeah,
Because that was another 5 this
but
year.
I don't know why, but this just feels like a different chunk level.
Yeah, because it's 4 stories instead. And I think it does have a longer overall runtime as well. I think the stories are chunkier and better.
Yeah. But yeah, probably more on that next week, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, Hoovian says, I think it will be the year of 8th, him opening the year and closing the year.
I mean, McGann had last year, I would say. McGann was my favourite last year.
Yeah. I think also he seems to have a bit less this year, because usually he's got about 4 box sets a year. This time he's down to 3.
Yeah, because what's he had this year? Cass,
and then he's got
Audacity.
and In the Bleak Midwinter.
I mean, I've got high hopes for like the November, December box sets.
Yeah, they look good.
They're the ones I'm excited for the most now. Because now Angels and Demons have gone. I'm like, right, that's for next.
But yeah, last year we had Charlotte Pollard, Stranded, What Lies Inside, Connections. He also popped up in a few other ones like Classic Doctor's New Monsters. So, yeah.
Oh, we had Robots as well, actually, I forget, this year.
Oh, yeah, he is in that. That's more of a small cameo, though. I mean, it's a good 5-minute scene. You don't feel cheated by it at all. But yeah, I wouldn't really call it 8th Doctor starring box set.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's something you've got to get around to listening to as well, isn't
it? Now River's probably out of the way. I can do Robots.
Yeah. You say now River's out the way as if you actually listen to
That's true.
Series 10 and stuff.
That's true. That is true.
Torchwood is the spin-off of the year, says Small Collection. I feel Torchwood sort of feels more like its own thing rather than the spin-off, I'd say.
Yeah. What spin-offs we had? Riley.
River.
River. Yeah, I think River's winning at the minute.
Yeah. Unit as well. Yeah, I think River's certainly winning the spin-offs at the moment.
Is she winning the year?
End of the Family.
Find out next week, I guess.
Yeah, that's all to look forward to as we go through our top 5 releases of the year so far. It's always nice to stop halfway through, isn't it? And take stock of what we've had and look to the future a bit as well.
Sort of, do a sort of retrospect of the year so far, and then we'll close it with what we are looking forward to and our hopes for the future, I guess. With it all.
Yeah. So, without any further ado, thank you all for watching, I guess. Hope you've enjoyed. Indeed.
Do all that jazz. If you're new around here, join us for the next one, because we like to build a nice community of Doctor Who fans, and we can just have a good time. We respect all opinions here.
We've got wonderful, friendly people in the chat.
Yeah.
We really appreciate all your contributions.
And we appreciate you, lovely lurkers who aren't in the chat, but we know you're there, and we really do appreciate you turning up and taking time out of your daily routine just to hear us waffle on about Doctor Who, whether that be TV or Big Finish. We appreciate it all.
Yeah, so thank you for watching. See you next week. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye bye.